Yeah. You're making me laugh.
I know.
Stop it. I'm okay. Just continue.
Stop talking. I was about to. Yeah. Hello, and welcome to this, the first podcast, hopefully of many. And we don't actually have a name for this, so as a moment it's going to go out as Untitled Podcast. But hopefully, with the people who listen to this, they can suggest a good name for it once they know the subject of it. I'll get to that eventually. I'm not very good at introducing podcasts. We'll get better as we get along, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. Joining me this week and every week from now on is my good friend, Mr. Thomas Mawson. How are you, sir?
Good day. I'm well. I'm coughing my insides out. Not too much though, so they'll be okay.
Let's hope you just cough up words.
I will do.
You know.
And how are you, hostess Chris Mayer?
I'm doing very well. I'm excited because this is the first time we've ever talked about this, excluding the bit where we've lost in recording.
Yes.
Whatever. So let's explain the podcast first off. I think that's a good thing to start with.
Yeah.
So mine and Thomas's friendship is about coughing. Is mostly built on wrestling. Video games, that ilk, music to a lesser extent, although we don't like them, same thing. But a lot of the conversations at uni were started or born out of 90s television. So we thought, let's just bring that to a recordable audio podcast platform.
For your enjoyment.
Yes, and we'll run the rule over some UK-based 90s television shows of past. That's basically it, isn't it, Thomas?
That's basically it. I mean, yes, we best and worst of 90s game shows and television in general.
Yes.
And it is what our unified love is all about.
Yeah, we should point out that both of us were born in 1990, so we were there throughout the entire 90s. We are fair judges of the 90s.
We are weathered and we have endured.
Although nostalgia does creep in.
Yes.
And we're trying to do this as objectively as possible, but some things I will not hear a bad word about.
No.
Which links us to this show, because this show is, for episode 1, we chose this because we both know it's a bad show.
Yeah.
Like, deep down, we know within our core that this show should not have succeeded in any way possible, because it's not a good show.
It's a flipping miracle looking back on it.
But we hold such fond memories for it that we thought there's no better place to start than Gladiators. The theme tune of Gladiators plays now.
Go.
So, Gladiators, Thomas. What do you remember about Gladiators?
I remember tight clothing.
Lycra. Gladiators, Lycra. That's it.
A dimly lit room. A big one. Lots of red and blue.
Scant money spent on lighting.
Lots of Barbie and Ken dolls running around.
That's a fair description.
Lots of Mexican waves. Birmingham.
Gladiators. These are all the things you associate with Birmingham. It was there, I'll give you that.
Yeah. But just a ridiculous amount of fun, very pantomimish fun, very theatrical endeavours from people trying to commit to an honest competition in a physical manner. But really, it's just...
deep down knowing that it is basically pantomime.
Yeah. That's a strange thing, I think. Like, it was an actual competition, but it never felt like it, because you had so many ridiculous characters just trying to, like, be effectively like heels and faces of, like, professional wrestling.
Yes, heels and faces, for those who don't know what that is. They don't know the wrestling lingo. The face would be a good guy, a heel would be a bad guy. And there's plenty of those in Gladiators. So.
But a little bit like attempts at storytelling as well. So there was at least an attempt to cash an investment, and when you were a kid, that was very easy to believe in.
Yeah, I think my defining memories of Gladiators is that my parents really hated it, but they let me watch it because it was primetime Saturday television. It's like, he'll keep quiet, he'll watch that. Before Gladiators on, it was probably dinosaurs or something like that.
Yeah.
You know? That was I love dinosaurs. We'll go. We'll talk about that another time. But Gladiators, I remember just a lot of pink neon lighting. That'd be a fair description.
Yeah.
The floor that looked like stars. A big screen, like kind of where the people would come out of, but that was it. Really,
a Titantron.
A Titantron, another wrestling reference. Well done. And I just remember it being farcical but immensely entertaining at the same time. And as you say, it was a competition, but not really a competition. And you weren't there for the contenders. And so one contestant in red, one contestant in blue. as you said. One contestant, female contestant in yellow, one in pink, and that's the to define you are the red contender, you are the blue contender.
Yes.
Blah blah.
You basically lost.
You don't know what the names are.
Unless
you just know that red versus blue, blah blah.
Unless you were the presenters, you were never addressed by your own name.
No, that's true.
You became a colour.
It's terrible.
It's
terrible.
It's a bad thing.
It's not what it should be about.
So
I just remember it being a lot of fun, really. So a little bit of a background on Gladiators. 2 bullet points on my notes, I should point out. Gladiators ran on ITV between October 1992 and ended on the 1st of January 2000. So basically, the Millennium Bug, everyone was too concerned about the Millennium Bug and thought, no, we have to focus on that. And Gladiators got lost in the noise, and then they had one day of Gladiators in the new millennium and decided to sack it off. Basically, they thought this is so 90s. We can't do this anymore. We need to basically move on to reality TV shows of like Pop Stars and Pop Idol and shit like that.
Yeah.
So that's what we're gonna do.
It died, and it was quite interesting when now you mentioned the dates, because that's pretty much when I started watching television properly, or at least remembering watching television, and it's frightening to think that I've been watching that from the age of 2 to 10.
Yeah.
8 years consistency of my life, and I was watching that every week.
It molds you as a person, probably, which is kind of a worrying thing.
Yeah, I definitely.
But as you say, it makes you. Well, it led on to professional wrestling, or there's a bit of crossover, right?
It forms what you would enjoy in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. And also it was, I believe it was an adaptation of American Gladiators, so it was basically exported over here and across all of the countries, because they used to have like US versus UK Gladiator like specials and stuff like that.
There was South African?
Yeah, as well. Yeah,
New Zealand, Australia?
Probably. I don't have an encyclopedic knowledge of episodes in my head.
There was definitely there was international.
Exactly.
Which
so
cool.
That was cool to see that. Like you get like completely set, and then the Gladiators would be against each other. It was kind of cool like that.
And I think that kind of, again, back to professional wrestling, in the way that even though it was an actual competition, it had build up, it had a structure. And the fact that it was people facing each other.
It's like a soap opera, isn't it?
Yeah, almost like a cartoon or something like that. It had like a story behind it. So it made the fact that it was just people doing bad athletic games.
And most importantly, Lycra. Lycra. If you take anything from this podcast, Lycra. Lots of Lycra in this.
They definitely inspired me about Lycra. That's all I'm going to say.
So I think first off, we've done the intro now, got all out of the way. I think it's applied to every podcast we do. The first thing we should always look at in a 90s TV show is the drum roll, the theme tune of that show, because that is the gateway to it.
Yeah.
And often a theme tune can be awful, and that's it, done, dead in the water. Forget about that show. But if it's good, then it's gonna help you, and you'll stick with it. This is the most 90s thing that anyone could ever make.
Yeah.
I mean, the fanfare leading into it, the guitar kind of shredding that goes on throughout it, and just kind of, it's ridiculous. It's so bombastic.
It did not deserve such a good theme tune.
No,
not at all. No. But it's entertaining, and it makes you excited to go into it. But if it's bad, it's something you have to endure for a good show, or an even worse show to the theme song. We'll get to all those shows in someday or another. But this was a fantastic little thing. It was beautiful.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it supersedes the show.
Yeah,
it's that good.
Yeah,
and we'll hear it now.
Let's dissect the theme song and really explore what it was talking about.
Yes, we do have the lyrics in front of us right now. Thomas, do you want to read them out entirely for me? Because I feel like you'd bring more gravitas to this than I would.
Do you want to sing it?
No, I don't want to sing it.
Do you want me to sing it?
No.
Do you feel the power? I nearly said the Power Rangers. Do you feel the power of the Power Rangers? Do you feel the power?
That's some poor songwriting if that was
is,
actually what it was.
Think of some different words, eh? Do you feel the power of the Gladiators? Can you face the challenge of the champions? Do you have the courage of a hero? Do you have the will and the skill? Do you have the speed, the strength, the heart to be a winner? It's not for beginners.
That's just a throwaway line. It's not for beginners.
It's not for beginners. Well,
winner,
but they're always,
beginner thing.
But what does that mean? Because people coming into the competition will have done it for the first time, so they're going to be beginners for gladiators.
Yeah, this is new to everyone. It's not like you've been around to your local gladiators centre to play gladiators. Everyone's a beginner to this.
This weekend I visited my local gladiator centre in Workington, Cumbria.
The leisure centre. They're doing a gladiators thing. But yeah.
I've heard they've got a foam finger duel.
Please continue.
Deep down in your soul, are you a gladiator? No, I'm not.
A lot of questions there.
A
lot of questions.
In fact, every line, apart from two, are questions. Left for you, the viewer, to answer.
Quite often. Actually, it's like, well, we're not gladiators. But, not.
You know,
if you win, you don't become a gladiator.
Yeah, exactly. It's not an induction course to be a gladiator. The gladiators are already set. It's like a cruel,
It's not an A level.
No, it's not.
B-Tech in gladiators.
The first year is all the other games, but the second year is all dedicated to the Eliminator.
No, I did an AS in gladiators, so dropped it for A level.
I had a dodgy knee. I couldn't do it.
Too much to me. I didn't have the will or the skill to progress onto A level.
I couldn't afford the duel stick. It was a very expensive.
There's so much equipment.
I was foolish and thought about the clothes first, but I didn't forget
I
about
went for the look of the gladiator,
yeah.
but not the actual skill.
I can at least pose in the mirror and dream. Yeah, that's a theme song.
That is the theme song, and it's wonderful.
It is.
Let's move on to the next part now. I mean, a big part to 90s TV shows is who's presenting them, because often you could have a terrible presenter in a great show.
Yeah.
But if someone knows how to work the show, then it works out really well. I'd argue that neither of these people are good presenters or able to hold the show. Yeah, it kind of worked. So first we got Ulrika Johnson.
Strength, speed and stamina were just some of the qualities we were looking for in tonight's four contenders who have to face the might of our gladiators. And we think as a result of all that, you're going to see some great action tonight.
What type of bird is Ulrika Johnson?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Because that's obviously some kind of bird call, like ka.
I've never really pondered this.
I'm going to say seagull.
See, okay. Moving on. Ulrika, I believe she was a weather girl beforehand and had never really done any TV presenting of any kind before this.
It's pretty much the first thing she ever did.
Yeah, exactly. And she's okay. Pretty wooden throughout the entire thing, I'd say. But who in the 90s wasn't wooden, eh?
Yeah, this next man.
And her counterpart.
The villain of the piece.
Yes. Mr. John Fashanu.
Oh.
John Fashanu. John Fashanu. John Fashanu. John Fashanu. John Fashanu.
John Fashanu. Where to start with John Fashanu? John Fashanu was better known for his skit in The Day Today. Yeah, absolutely. Was a professional footballer for Wimbledon, and part of the crazy gang who won the FA Cup, I think. And was never a really good footballer.
Nope.
But was alright. Then went, my career's coming to an end now. I really need to do something with that. Went on to presenting. And this was it. This was his first real big thing. And his main thing was his catchphrase, which was, Thomas, you... Awooga! There's a woo. Yeah, I think it demanded that.
Yeah.
So, I'd say on average he'd do about 7 awoogas a show. Mostly going to breaks, I'd say. Would be fair.
They should have had an Awuga counter in the bottom of the screen.
So yeah. Also, I seem to remember him both of them would wear really colourful clothes.
Bad 90s.
Yeah,
suits.
bad 90s stuff.
Or there's kind of something like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air would wear.
Yes.
Really XXL t-shirts and big baggy pants.
Yeah.
Joggers.
Yeah.
Joggers.
And that's until 2000. That's not didn't really change. There was also Jeremy Guska, who was a rugby union player, England international. That was him.
He was a guy.
Yeah, he was there for a bit. Went off. Fash came back. Awuga his way back in.
The allure of the Awuga could not be attained.
Basically, you just heard the calling of Awuga and walk to Birmingham.
You can be on the show if you walk here. We can't provide you transport.
So those were the 2/2.5 presenters, and the
2.5%.
The real star of the show for me was the man who would hold order and court of the NEC arena, Mr. John Anderson. John Anderson.
That's not his real name.
Sorry, referee John Anderson. Oh, sorry, I remember now.
Yeah, he's got a middle name.
He does have a middle name. It's John. Don't fuck with me, Anderson. And he'd basically be in his referee garb, just wandering around, blowing a lot of he blew a whistle every minute. It was it was kind of like a 90s rave almost, really.
Do you think he'd already retired as a conductor?
I don't know what he was previously. I think he must have just wandered in.
A ghost.
Yeah,
He's the ghost of the Birmingham Indoor Arena.
He's not real, he's an apparition. John Anderson would be
That's some good CGI for the 90s.
So he'd be the most iconic person of one of two, I'd say, of the show. Known for saying "contenders ready." That's it, really. That's his catchphrase.
You will go on my first whistle.
Basically initiating the contest. That'd be his thing, and he'd make a career out of
sentences
that.
constructed around words and tasks in the game.
Yes. So that's John Anderson, and we love him.
You do. Yes. I think it's quite interesting that even the presenters are superseded by the referee, and then the actual characters themselves. So the presenters, even though they weren't too good, don't matter because we've got a whole host of characters.
Because you're looking at the most important people of the show.
The titles.
That's self-titled,
of the show.
yes, indeed. And I think it's probably a good idea to move on to them next because they are the stars of the show after all. So, I was saying before, the contenders, you weren't even rooting for the contenders, really.
They might as well just do it.
I wasn't anyway. I mean, I'm kind of sadistic in that way. I want the Gladiators to win. I mean, what about you?
I liked people's winning the Eliminator. And I thought, because it was very rare for people to probably get past them well, I thought it was cool to see that.
Yeah.
And it made me think, I want to do that when I was 7. And it was quite interesting. Because you barely cared about the contenders themselves, it made you feel like you were part of it and you could put yourself into that. Even as a kid, that's the theatrics of it all just made it really exciting and appealing.
Contenders, ready! Gladiators, ready! 3, 2, 1.
So I think we'll start with the most well-known Gladiator of all, the Wolfman. Real name Michael Van Wyck, as I found it, as Wikipedia tells me. It might be Vic. I don't do Dutch very well. So. Yeah, but anyway, Wolfman, the most villainous and oldest, probably. Yep. Very old. My memories of Wolfman is that one of my friends, as I was at school, he lived down my road, I think on the corner, and his dad looked a lot like Wolf.
My dad looked a lot like Wolf, actually.
Wow, that's amazing. We both know someone who looks like Wolf.
Did you know my dad?
Did you know? I didn't know. Your dad didn't live down my street, no.
You're right.
No, it's true. But he was a really nice guy. I mean, this guy.
Yeah.
But he had a lot of people in the 90s seem to have that kind of unkempt hair, just
with a hint of receding.
Yes, yeah. It was I'm not getting rid of this. I'm not going bald yet. I'm just gonna go like I am now. Actually, now I think about it. So kind of crazy, kind of strang, tassel-y
Well,
hair.
it wasn't like he didn't wash it, but
No,
at the same
no,
time, it
debatable, but okay.
it was nearly hair-like.
I like how it pretty much just described the appearance of Wolf and none of his attributes as informed. This is what Wolf was like. It wasn't an actual wolf. It wasn't a man in a wolf costume.
No,
it
he
wasn't.
wasn't.
You know,
He wasn't able. He was just a man.
no, it was a man purported
Think
to spend
about
time
like
with wolves.
a real-life equivalent of the Wolverine, if you will.
And as he would enter the arena, there would be "Who's afraid of the big bad wolf?" The crowd would love it with their foam fingers aloft, kind of like
A sea of yellow.
Yeah.
It was quite interesting.
For the foam fingers,
It was a
you're talking
spectacle
about.
to see.
Well, doesn't everyone just love to kick a wolf when he's down?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we should point out Thomas actually went to Gladiators.
Yep.
When he was younger.
When I was 8 years old, I actually got the chance to go to it. It was kind of a mixture of being amazing but also disappointing. The
Right,
disappointment came from the start because you could actually apply to be do a little tug of war, like loads of kids could do like a tug of war and win a prize. I didn't get to do that.
Oh.
So I watched them and was like, I didn't do that. Why not? I didn't get my foam finger though. I did actually own a foam finger, which was amazing.
Mm-hmm. What happened to the foam finger?
It died a horrible death. Basically, just like it did last a good couple of years, but just just chunks off, and it was just like I don't want you anymore. I got a cap. I did get a Gladiators cap.
Gladiators cap.
It was part of my game show attire with my Crystal Maze T-shirt.
A podcast soon to
the series. Wolf was I'll get to Wolf in a second. But it was lots of fun. It was massive, and it kind of like lived up to how big the TV show was as well. It took a long time because I do believe they were actually filming it, and I think it was at final.
Did they do just do like one show?
It was a show. So like
that's cheap. That they should have done like way more than one show.
Yeah, but it's because it takes so long because they were taking out sets to bring the other stuff as well.
That's something I think we should talk about. The set itself is pretty impressive for the 90s because like the events are pretty huge.
Yeah.
Like we'll get onto them.
Yeah.
But,
You've got to remember it's not live either because they've got that whole middle space just for one game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think they filmed it. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure they did. If not, it just felt like an actual show. Highlight was the Mexican wave.
Wave.
I went with my cousin and my nana, and we were all on those seats that flipped upwards. So if you sat,
like cinema seats.
It's like cinema seats, not now cinema seats, but back in the day.
Thank you for distinguishing.
Yeah, we're old men. It started from the right. Because it's
important to note where the Mexican wave
started. We were at
started.
the centre because there was the entrance part, so there was no seats there.
Yeah.
Came all the way around, came to me because went woo, and then we looked to my right and my nana was stuck.
I'd like to point out because we can't see this. Thomas from his arms went in the air.
I've got to be part of it.
Yes,
yeah. And I turned to my right, and bless her, the seat had come up, and my nana got stuck in between the arms of the chair. She has a good sense of humour though, so she was laughing as well, that was really, really funny. But it was awesome. It was really, really awesome. I kind of wish. I don't remember ever seeing it on television if it had been filmed, and when I was a kid, the magic of having to set it all up was just kind of like diminished a little bit, but the fact that I was there was awesome.
That's TV for you, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah. Okay, so Wolf.
Yeah, Wolf was actually easily my favourite gladiator.
Okay.
I actually felt a lot of sympathy.
It's not my favourite, but we'll get to it.
I actually felt a lot of sympathy for him. Like, I know he was supposed to be this, like, looking back on it, obviously, he was a really cool character because
he hammed it up to the masses. Like,
but at the same time, he was the most entertaining of the lot of them. Like, not even in a, like pantomime sort of way. Like, he would, like, there was an actual slight serious to him, which I saw as a kid. And I thought, oh, come on, he's just doing his job. Stop booing him, for God's sake. He's doing a good job.
He's doing his very best.
I was on his side. I felt like I was the only living boy in Wolves.
I think I obviously had to play up to that. I'm the most villainous character here.
Well, it was,
he'd saying during various events, if he lost, he'd just push people push people over. I watched a clip before we just started this of John Anderson showing him a red card because he just pushed John Anderson. I was like. There were rules, but he didn't play by them, and that's the best part about Wolf.
The Wolf character was actually his own idea. They didn't want any villains, as it were.
You've done way more research than I have.
Well, I just read it before we started, and it was his own idea that he pushed, and it's because of him that we have the Wolf.
Without Wolf, Gladiators would have been a lot worse for it.
There were definitely good Gladiators. Don't get me wrong, but he was the flagship. He was the brand of the Gladiators.
Yeah,
definitely.
absolutely. My favourite Gladiator, and I know for a fact it was my dad's favourite Gladiator as well. Probably the reason why it's my favourite is Saracen. He's this guy with dreadlocks. I just remember he looked just a boss, really.
Yeah.
And he was I think the crowd, like, other than you press the boo for the Gladiators,
yeah,
he's
yeah.
like the one that the crowd would actually get on the side of.
They were going to
like,
cheeky cheat around.
He's like the one they're most impressed by, the one who think who's kind of the most, I don't know what the word is really, but I think he just had a connection with the crowd almost.
Yeah.
And I remember him being on Hang Tough and just like being an absolute boss at Hang Tough, and that was like the reason why I loved it.
He was one of the kind of gladiators where you were really happy when he did win because he was awesome at everything. He was always smiling, and I think actually quite a counterpart to Wolf actually, because he was he was a much more of a positive. Yeah, it was a very positive energy. Yeah. But he's a good egg. He was a good egg.
Absolutely.
Who else did you like?
I think we should probably talk about the female gladiators as well. Jet. As Alan Partridge would go.
Yes. Jet.
So, Saracens' real name is Mike Lewis, by the way. I thought I'd tell you that.
That's a really boring name.
Yeah, a lot of the gladiators are called Mike. So you couldn't just have like Mike 1, Mike 2, Mike 3.
I would be happy if he took a leaf out of Snoop Dogg's book and actually just legally changed his name to Saracen. That's
maybe he has. Yeah. And I believe he is now a firefighter.
That's why I like him. He's a good guy.
Yeah, exactly. He's always thinking of others.
Yeah.
I love you, Saracen. Please respond to my calls. Anyway.
It's funny because it's true.
Yeah, exactly. It's really terrible.
Yeah.
Jet.
Jet was a babe.
Considered, yes, exactly. Yeah. The totty for older people who are watching the show, I'd say, rather than kids. Kids are like, oh, she's the most, she's the lead girl. There.
Yeah, older people found her hot. Younger people crushed on her, but in a really quite innocent way. And it wasn't. I think what was really nice about the female gladiators was, on a slightly more serious note, they weren't all busty. They weren't all, glammed up models or anything like that. They were legitimate athletes and gymnasts and all that kind of thing. So it was nice to see people that were actually good at what they did doing it as well. And having quite positive role models for it as well.
Yeah, Jet was the fan service of Gladiators, I'd say.
Yes.
Like, ultimately, really.
But even saying that, she wasn't, too outrageous.
And
I think there was quite a nice neutral... Obviously, me seeing it as a guy, but I think there was quite a nice neutrality with the sexes.
As much as there can be for a show like
definitely.
that. Definitely. I agree, yeah, I think I agree with you. Yeah. Another female gladiator of prominence... Lightning.
Yes, Lightning. Yeah.
I think we should actually just say these names are ridiculous for a start.
There is no reason for these names.
You don't have just Wolf, Saracen, Todd. It's not. It doesn't really work. Fred. Jim the Gladiator.
Ex-farm worker.
I go to the gym. My name is Jim the Gladiator. All of us go to the gym.
That's why his name's spelled though.
Listen, by Series 8 they've run out of names. Jim.
Why is Jim here? I go to the gym.
What do you think? So other female gladiators, Lightning, blonde hair, also considered fairly attractive.
Kind of the
also another fan favourite.
Yeah, the Trish Stratus of the Gladiator world.
Again, another wrestling reference, Thomas. Do you watch anything else?
I haven't watched wrestling probably in a long time.
It's all old school.
Yeah.
And then, Falcon was another female gladiator who
looked like a bird.
Like an actual falcon. Just swooped in from the rafters.
Well, a head did, and was implanted on another person's body.
Wait, I don't want to be too unkind here, but just prefix this.
Yeah.
Falcon was an old woman basically with a lampshade haircut would probably be an X-Men.
Yeah.
What they call it? There's a character on an enemy on X-Men, or should fight a guy. I'm not an X-Men person. You are.
I would like to think I can answer your question.
That's hair that's kind of all out here and all kind of jagged, and it was dyed the opposite of peroxiding hair, dark black. I have no idea what I'm talking about with this, but yeah.
I don't know. Was it definitely a villain?
No.
It wasn't.
No.
Rogue.
No. It wasn't an actual X-Men. A bit like Jubilee, actually. She kind of does have Jubilee hair.
I think her hair looks like a
if she just put on some marigold, she'd like the most 90s thing in the world.
I think her haircut looks like a bit like a settee.
Settee hair.
Yeah.
State of your hair.
Like
Speaking of another gladiator who had bad hair, Warrior.
Oh, mother.
It was like a crew cut city. Let's put that.
Right, I've realised who he looks like, though.
Who?
He looks like Guile.
He does look like Guile.
But it looks like his hair's been sort of like trimmed off so evenly.
But it's kind of like my hair in a way. It's that colour, but not.
But
not
more
as,
like-
it's
more
more
like-
defined edges.
More like a cliff.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Yeah.
So Warrior, I think, was one of 2 gladiators who was sacked from the show.
He was a block.
Because there was
basically.
an incident with a firearm, I think, or maybe a bribe. Well, something bad happened. I don't know. He was jailed for something.
Oh,
I did write this down. I'm going to check.
yeah, please do.
Jailed for perverting the course of justice, bribed a copper, now owns gym in Liverpool is my notes there.
Should go pay him a visit.
And the other, there's a lot of controversy surrounding Shadow, who did some bad stuff, juiced, took the roids, and he was sacked. Shadow was amazing at duel. That's what I remember. He once broke his pugil stick.
I remember him being
Because he was that vicious.
son of a bitch.
Yeah, so he was sacked.
He was a tank of a man.
Bad man. Because of the roids, I think he got caught with the drugs after that.
Yeah.
And it's quite a sad tale, but now I found, apparently, according to various sources online, he's actually doing well for himself. He's kind
I
of
hope so.
like an evangelist for not taking drugs, all that stuff. So that's good.
He's kind of he never smiled though, did he?
No.
Never.
The other 3 guys I can remember, Hunter, who was known for his fling with Ulrika, pretty much.
Did he?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
That makes sense.
That's a very
to you now.
Aryan affair.
Think of the jump. But it went out for a bit. Cobra, who was there the entire time, he was a scary looking guy sometimes, Cobra.
His face was horrific.
So that's Cobra.
Yeah.
Ace, who I don't remember anything about. But apparently he went out with
Katie Price.
yeah. That's all I've got there.
My brother got his picture took with Ace. I was very jealous because I didn't get to meet him. I was not the right age.
Here's an autograph of it for nothing in 2014. So
Who gives a flying?
So those were some of the gladiators I want to talk about. Some better than others.
Yeah.
Saracen, the best of all.
Yeah.
We best point that out.
Rep.
Yeah, represent. And I suppose the reason why the show works so well is because of the games themselves.
Yes.
Which were so varied. It was involved around, I'll say very varied, a gladiator chasing the contender in some way or another. And that is best described by the wall.
The wall.
The wall.
I had the wall.
You had.
I had a toy of the wall.
But that's not really the wall. That's not 30 feet. Well, more than 30 feet.
I
Like
had
50,
what I
30.
could obtain
25.
as the wall,
Right.
basically. It was official Gladiators merchandise.
There was a lot of gladiators merch that you could get.
See, now I'm being reminded of how much I actually had. I had each gladiator little figure would come.
I had one of those.
With the batons.
Yeah, and they
The
kind of
duel.
did joust. Yeah.
Yep. I also had the spherical Atlas spheres. Atlas spheres, yeah. They were fun, but the wall was my favourite. The wall was cool. And it was quite strange because
That toy's, you think about it, that toy's awful.
Yeah, it really is.
There's a figure going up a wall.
Who's going to win?
It's effectively doing Incy Wincy Spider, but we're just kind of with
What's
toys.
faster, my left or right hand?
Exactly,
I just
it's
don't
not
know. And it was weird as well because you never had gladiators facing each other in the show.
Yeah.
Because you didn't get contender figures unless or did you?
No, you didn't. No way.
Not that I could.
There's no way you can market a contender figure.
But I know I think I had Wolf. I think I had Hunter. I think I had some of the female contestants as well. I think I might have had Jet and Lightning.
I think I had Jet and Lightning. I thought they were like a Happy Meal toy or something you got free. I don't know how I got it, but I had a figure.
Oh no, they were actual toys, proper toys.
There was a lot of bad merch from Gladiators.
Bad merch.
Yeah. Most of it would have rolled on like fact books about Gladiators, like Wolf has never actually seen a wolf or something like that. Hunter has never owned a gun.
all the really bad snippets you get in the show.
Like a fact file, yeah, pretty much.
Oh no, I had a
Cobra is actually afraid of snakes.
Lightning doesn't.
Ace can count cards. I could go on all day with these.
Jet has never left England.
Jet is afraid of flying.
I had a T-shirt as well as a cap. Actually, now I remember it. I like my merchandise when it comes to
it's so
when it comes to
bad.
shows that I like and stuff.
Yeah. Before I was looking for all the music. So the music that we're going about for so long.
Yeah.
For like individual events, I was listening to it before, and then found the CD on Amazon used for 9p. So guess what I'm buying today?
Oh yes.
You could just like use it around the house. You know, it would really get you pumped up.
I
good gym music as well. Actually.
Can we make a playlist for the gym, but also when we're cleaning the house from now on as well?
Clean the house.
Cleaning house music. Every time we're going up the stairs.
And there'd be a clock in the corner.
Every time I run up the stairs now, I'm going to try and slip and pretend I'm going up the travelator.
So the wall, for anybody who's not seen Gladiators, although why you're listening to this podcast, I don't know. The wall would be
a wall.
The two contenders. The male, or male, female, whatever.
Yeah.
Not male, one female, whatever.
Yeah.
That's convoluted.
Yes.
Get about a 5-second head start, I think, off the top of my head.
Mm-hmm.
Probably should have looked this up.
They were on wires as well, weren't they?
Yeah. Basically, climb this climbing wall as fast as you can. Don't get caught by the gladiator, or that's it, you're done. And I don't remember anybody really ever getting caught on there.
I remember that more.
Okay.
Actually, it was more victorious, obviously, when somebody did, but like. I always remember the gladiators just basically running up and running up as fast as they can, just bringing them off, and then they'd just be sort of like hanging in the air. I really like the wall.
I've wasted my life.
I've been on here 5 seconds. But when I was a kid, that was really cool. They got to the end.
I remember there was another controversy, right? But this is a controversy in-game controversy, where someone like greased up, basically greased up so they wouldn't be caught by the gladiator.
Oh, that sounds familiar.
So and then they got just DQ'd from it. So no cheaters never prosper on gladiators.
No. John, don't fuck with me, Anderson. Well,
there he is again.
He is the law.
The law, yeah.
As it were.
So I think there's a lot of like opening games. They'd always like play the same. The wall was always near the start of the show. Powerball. Do you remember Powerball? Powerball.
Yes.
Basically, pick up your coloured balls and thrust them into a basket. whilst the gladiator will stop you from doing that.
It seemed like such a throwaway, easy game.
It's like an opener. It's like to go, we'll ease you in. We're not going to put you in handcuffs straight away.
But at the same time, a lot of them were awful at it.
You'd usually get someone who would not get any because the gladiator was really good at blocking. Or you get someone who get like 10 points or something stupid.
Like there'd be one contestant that was basically being hugged ferociously by the gladiator, for the whole of the contest. Which was I found it funny because I thought come on, you're just putting balls in a basket. That's not difficult.
Yeah, it wasn't very good.
No, it was categorically.
Okay.
Powerball is our first event, Ulrika. Gail will be slam dunking the red balls, and Tracy the blue.
I think you've mentioned this before because of the merch. Mm-hmm. Atlas Spheres.
The Atlas Spheres.
Do you want to explain Atlas Spheres to the audience?
Atlas Spheres, there will be two contenders and the two...
So it's a portmanteau of Atlas and Sphere. For those who didn't know.
Thank you, Chris.
Not fear. There's fear, but there's not,
If you mispronounce it.
Yeah.
There was the two contenders, the two gladiators, and each was in basically a big sphere, where they'd run about in it, basically.
Like a hamster wheel.
Yeah,
hamster
a hamster in a globe, as it were. And there would be, to what I remember, sort of circles across the floor, and you would have to go onto it. And steam would rise if you went over it, and that was basically a point. And whoever got the most points win.
Steam would rise is accurate.
Yeah.
Because it was not very good. It was not very good. It was like basically going to be with a fire extinguisher with each gun. It wasn't like really good pyrotechnics.
Like a really bad fart.
Yeah, it's like... I'm sure it broke once. Like it just like someone over. It's like no.
Yeah, people would have to go over it a couple of times.
It was like the premise looks amazing, but in actuality it was fucking awful.
It was a massive anticlimax.
It was like, the balls have hit each other. Oh.
Video game fans, if you've ever played Fusion Frenzy for the Xbox, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about because that's one of the games on there. And Fusion Frenzy,
Sumo.
It pretty much directly rips off a lot of the Atlas Sphere games and games on Gladiators in general.
Gladiators.
So we didn't. So we didn't get a Gladiators video game, but Fusion Frenzy is the place to go if you want to go.
Okay.
Not number 2 though. That's quite bad.
Okay. Next game we're gonna move on to.
Yeah.
Gauntlet.
Oh.
Do you remember Gauntlet?
I do. Each gladiator. So
I've thought of this description before. It's basically 5 gladiators with assorted licorice all sorts. One is like long and what you got like one's holding like a long licorice all sort, and then you got 2 like squares. And like it would alternate between long licorice also 2 squares, long licorice also 2 squares.
All I'm imagining now is the mascot, like with the black and blue hat for licorice all sorts.
Bertie Bassett.
Yeah, Bertie Bassett, like 5 Bertie Bassets with different shaped licorice shields.
That'd be great. That could have been a tie-in on that.
Yeah, it could have been.
Oh, yeah. Why weren't we marketing things in the 90s, Tom?
yeah,
Because we were children.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So
I tried.
Basically, the contender's got to run through a gauntlet,
Yeah.
like basically a storm drain, if you
It
want.
kind of looks like a half pipe
Storm drain.
of on a skateboard.
Yeah. And normally you have like 30 seconds to get past all 5.
Yeah.
And usually one of the gladiators would be duff and just let go. Let him pass.
Yeah.
Give him a chance, and then one would just actually beat the crap out of him. So yeah, that's a really simple game that I loved.
Yeah.
Because it would be all the time you just topple them over the And if you throw out, I don't think you ended it. I think you have to just go back to start, or like the next bit.
Some people were very good at it, and seeing people very good at it was really entertaining.
Yeah.
But oftentimes it was just not for you.
Yeah. Next game, I suppose, Duel.
Yes, the
Classic.
classic.
That's the definitive Gladiators game. That
Dum dum dum.
red pugil stick.
Another one bites the dust.
Red pugil stick for the contender, probably.
Poodle stick.
Pugil.
Pugil's pugil.
Well, I don't know. It's basically a stick.
A baton. if you want, yeah.
Whatever. It's like a cotton earbud.
Yeah,
but huge.
but double. Yeah.
And Gladiator on
Ideal.
two plinths, and they'd fight. And normally the Gladiator would absolutely beat the shit out of the contender.
It would often end in a couple of seconds.
Yes.
Like, often.
And then you fall into the crash mat. A lot of the games were like you'd just fall quite a bit of a distance, you know.
I thought like if I ever went on the Gladiators, I'd really enjoy just like jumping off.
Gladiators, fall from a height.
Fall from a height.
But land safely.
Yeah, please. Sometimes though it was like I remember it happened to Wolf a couple of times where like,
you couldn't step over.
Yeah.
As well.
So some people would fall off.
Yeah.
Then there'd be a tussle at the end arguing as to who did it first.
Yeah.
But then sometimes, including Wolf also, the contender would knock them off very easily within a couple of seconds, and then they'd be outraged. And especially Wolf would complain to John, "Don't fuck with me, Anderson," and
we can't not call
and they
him
would
that.
win. But like, but they would be fearful because obviously when you were younger, you thought, "Oh shit, Wolf's gonna beat him up." don't do it, Wolf.
Wolf's going to be arrested and taken away.
You've got to let Wolf win. That's how it works.
So yeah, Duel was always good.
Yeah, it was.
Like this pure.
That's one of the staple ones.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
Gauntlet was a staple.
And one of the other staple ones for me is Hang Tough.
Oh yes.
Hang Tough is amazing.
Yeah.
Like basically, one platform on the one side, one platform on the other side. Load of rings hanging from the ceiling. Swing about for a bit. Stay alive. And also stay in the point scoring zone or something like that.
Looked a bit like a Sonic level, didn't it?
Yeah, it did actually. But I think I love this because I had a great respect for anybody who did it because I can't do monkey bars or any variation on that.
It made the
playground, and it's never. And I can't do it now. I have no upper body strength. So yeah, I think there's a kind of great respect for anybody who took on Hang Tough, and it also had the best music behind it as well.
Yes, it did. Was that the Let's remind you, it's not the Addams Family theme song.
And carries on.
They made it look very easy. So when I was a kid, I thought, I could do that. Couldn't
do it
at all. Although when I was in a play park, actually, this is how much Gladiators affected me. When I used to go to a play park, I used to try and do so many Gladiator games.
Yeah.
Like, I'd try and do Hang Tough. I'd do Gauntlet, all that kind of thing. Like, I'd run up, like...
Pretty sure we did Gauntlet at school, but it might just be like a variation of British Bulldog.
Yeah, I did that, yeah. But I'd run up, like, the slide, like the travelator, and all that kind of thing.
We'll get onto that, don't worry. So, yeah, Hang Tough was awesome. And the level of Gladiators would kind of, like, get the legs and just wrap around something. It's like... Done. Forget about them.
Hump them off.
They're not hanging on here. If you hang on with like your talc, like no.
My trusty handy dust.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much all the games that were actually good. There was a load of rubbish ones.
Oh yeah.
Like Pyramid. I didn't like Pyramid that much.
I like Pyramid. I thought Pyramid was
Run up a pyramid, avoid the gladiators, done. End of game.
It looks like it's Cuba.
There's one where they shot like tennis balls out of a gun.
Yes.
But I have no idea what it's called.
I can't remember that. No, I called it Cuba. Cuba was an old video game which is basically the exact same as Pyramid, but where you just have to reach to the top, coming from one side, one contender, and another side, another contender, and a couple of gladiators scattered across, and you have to kind of avoid them and get to the top and ring a bell or just punch some kind of foam ball or something. Yeah.
Punch a foam ball.
But that pretty much leads us on to the Mac Daddy.
Yeah, the Mac Daddy. The Mac Daddy of Gladiators. The pièce de résistance. That doesn't make sense. So yeah, the whole point of this was to get to the eliminator where the contestants would finally square off, and then whoever had the lead points would get a head start.
That's it.
Yeah, so like say if you had 10 points over somebody, you'd have a 5-second head start. It'd be half.
See, well, we were going through this and I got confused. Like, okay, so if they were both in the travelator, what's the fucking point in doing the rest of it? You know. But then I realised the point.
It's all leading up to
seconds,
this. Basically, a grand obstacle course with various things thrown in. But really, the only bit that mattered was the travelator. And the bit where you go through the crate paper to win.
Yes.
It's like, I've jumped through it, that's it, done.
I loved how disappointed
people swing through, yeah.
Whoever came second was so disappointed because they didn't get to go through the paper.
A lot of the time it was like a massive anticlimax because normally, like especially in the early rounds, like they'd have like I think they got 32 people would start off and they'd whittle it down to the final. Say in the first round, you pair off against someone, you'd say basically like somebody who was like a strong man against somebody who was basically like an office worker.
Yeah.
Who was a bit overweight.
They just did a couple of marathons.
No. But what I mean is like they built up such a lead over the course of the games that the eliminator would be completely pointless because he'd be so far ahead. You'd have to like really mess up, like on the hand cycle, doing anything like that.
That's
I realise this podcast doesn't lend itself to audio when you have to do a lot of actions.
Use your imaginations, people.
Imagine I'm doing a cycle with my hands.
Imagine a 6-foot-something lanky man sitting down at a desk trying to emulate the hands like...
Yes, and there was a climbing net, a zip wire. I love the zip wire.
Yeah, the zip wire. That was my favourite bit.
And the crash mat. That was like, but then you'd see like the people basically going, "Oh, just hold on, you'll be alright." Like basically,
you're not gonna die.
Yeah, like the person who was in control of it's like, it's okay, don't worry about it. It's like, I can win a race here. You know?
I'm losing time.
And then I can't remember who it was. I think one of them would always get the win and one would always get the loser. I can't remember who it was.
No. I think they might have alternated.
Oh, okay.
In a Great British Bake Off style.
Thank you for that reference. Current. I'm disallowing that reference. It's not for the 90s.
I don't care. It happened. I actually liked the little bit before when you came off the zip wire and you had to go over the balancing beam to get to the travelator, which screwed a lot of people over.
Yeah.
And when it was neck and neck, that was always really interesting. Because some people have to go around and around and around to do it again.
I think the travelator is one of the reasons why I'm so scared of treadmills still. Should I elaborate on my I fell off a treadmill when I was about 10 or 11 because I put it on full speed and didn't realise it was on full speed. Yeah. So fell off and then whacked my chin at the bottom of it.
My cousin did the exact same thing. Yeah.
But that's like on a gradient of 5. So a lot of people knackered out from the obstacle. I'd get probably like a third of the way around and then just go, nah, done. Forget it. So the travelator was the real thing because he'd get people like kind of like some people would just like absolutely like walk it, just like get some they would
nice steady pace.
They get it with something from within their soul, as the lyrics state on the theme song. Yeah. And then they would power on to victory. A lot of people would just kind of go like that, flap down, forget about them.
Whenever I go on a treadmill now, I always have it on maximum incline, pretending I'm doing the travelator infinitely.
That's just stupid. Why would you do that?
Because when I finish, I feel
you're not
like
a gladiator as much as you might.
Hey, don't crush my dreams, lad.
It's over. The 90s crushed the dreams.
No,
so I think that pretty much rounds up Gladiators. Except the ill-fated revival in 2008, which was hosted by I think Kirsty Gallagher
and Ian Wright.
Yeah, because they thought, we'll just get another football. Yeah. I feel like poultry this evening. Ian Wright.
Now, there's something slightly more sophisticated than your everyday cooking sauce. It's called Sizzle and Stir from Chicken Tonight. And this is the tikka masala variety. You get 2 pots, you see. The first spices the chicken and turns it tikka red. One feels like chicken tonight, like chicken tonight, chicken tonight.
Not I'd say brand name.
Did he do those adverts?
Yes, he did.
I had no idea.
Ian Wright has now gone on to do more football-related stuff.
Lots of TV, doesn't he?
Yeah, but he's more football kind of orientated now. So they hosted it. It came back, but it was in a really kind of small studio. It didn't have that great feel about it. No. Like the whole big event type thing.
We've watched it before we did the podcast. It looks like the celebrity wrestling. sized arena, basically.
Yeah. Oh, we'll get onto that show as well. There's a lot of foreshadowing of this podcast.
Yes.
You do. We're assuming that we're going to go more than one episode.
We're setting it up. We're setting the scene.
So, yeah, it came back on Sky One, and they had all the Gladiators were probably knocking on 50 at that point. It was like, except Wolf, who's now 62.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. Like, he was always old.
I think he's looked like that since his 20s.
All of them were middle-aged.
Yeah.
So they had to get a new batch, and none of them were interested. They were all trying to be like Wolf, and I was like,
It was kind of, it showed why Gladiators only worked in the 90s, because they had those characters, but they hammed them up even more. Like, every character was hammed up. Like, there was no, because with the original Gladiators, there was at least a bit of authenticity with the there was something genuine about them. You could believe them beyond the fact that they had a persona.
Yeah.
Like when they'd
I think
attitudes
have changed. I think it happens to a lot of stuff they bring back, and it never works because the old magic. You know,
it's nostalgia that wants us to bring them back.
Yeah.
But when they're actually put into
it's not the taste has changed completely.
Exactly.
And they tried it didn't work. For some reason, everyone wore black and white and silver, and it was all serious.
Well, that's just it. It's trying to make it contemporary.
And it was always slapstick kind of pantomime, and it kind of lost that
there
for
was
me.
Fire
They brought back John Anderson, who, by the way, as I looked at my notes before, is now a sports coach. So obviously he's kind of carried on that.
Yeah.
And
how old is he now?
I mean, he must be like bus pass age. It was bus pass age when he started the show.
He was.
So I think he's probably retired now.
Just like Wolf now.
But he's So they brought it back. It wasn't very good. It died, and then that's it. Consigned to the history books. They won't bring it back again.
No.
Unless for some weird kind of alternate reality. There's actually a clamouring for it. Personally, I don't want Gladiators to come back because I kind of feel like it's best left there.
It died at the millennium, and that's where it should stay. It should stay where it belongs in the 90s, and we can revisit it with joy and hilarity.
When you say millennium, I always think of Alan Partridge when he's recording his show ideas and says, "Jet from Gladiators to host Millennium Barn Dance in Yeovil Aerodrome, properly policed. It must not, I repeat, not turn into an all-night rave." And with that, I think that will also end our first podcast, the unentitled pilot podcast of 90s TV.
Oh, yes.
Thank you very much for listening, and hopefully we'll be back again to run the rule over another very shoddy TV show.
Tell us, Gary, what is whitewater kayaking? That sounds like a cocktail drink.